All right, round two. We're going to give it another go. Be sure everything is working. And it is official. We gave it the first try. For some reason, it didn't pull through, but now it is pulling through. Okay, here we go. Awesome. Welcome. So, what I was saying earlier is I like to do these things uh, before what I do for as far as content goes is I link the restream to restream.io to a couple other platforms. So then when I go live, what I can do is I can go from pretty much what I can do is do one long form video, use that long form video and repurpose it on a bunch of other pieces of uh, other turn that into other content on other platforms. So we can do that through, whether it's LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. We're trying it all. So it's been an interesting journey with that. And so as we're going into it, we are excited because the last time I went live, I'm actually going to be sure I go live here as well. So the last time I went live, we were talking about converting more sales and scheduled calls to your events. And the first question was, have 400 people have they seen the presentation? And until you answer that question, whether it's yes or no, that gives you the best indicator on if you're what the next step is. If the answer is no, and they haven't seen 400 people haven't seen your event, then you don't really have enough data to move forward and make the next best decision for the business. If they have, then the question is, have at least 10 people taken action from that event? Now, whether sometimes the people go, oh, well, they're not super successful, and that could be that actually they converted really well, but just their pricing was out of whack, right? And so then it didn't become profitable. But again, the first question was, has 400 people seen the presentation? From there, have at least 10 people purchased or scheduled a call or taken action from that event? Now, that's kind of the next iteration of what we're going to be talking about today, as far as what happens if someone has if at least 10 people have taken action or if 10 people have not taken action. And so what we're going to do is first talk about the not. And well, I guess if you have, then the second question, this will be a lot quicker than the not. If you have, I guess let me share my screen really quick because this will be pretty clear. Let me share my screen. Share screen. This should be pretty quick. Okay. So have 400 people seen the presentation? If yes, have more than 10 people purchased or scheduled a call? If yes, have more than 5 people purchased or scheduled a call from a follow-up message? So what's your automations look like? And so now that would be the next question I would ask if you passed this threshold. I'm going to have a couple other videos that follows what to do, for the yes and no scenarios for these. But right now, what we're focusing on is right here, the 10 people. So if the 10 people have not, right, so if they go under this category, what we're going to do is talk about reviewing when people actually leave the presentation and why people would actually do that, right? So stop sharing the screen there. Looks like we have also stopped sharing the screen on this side. Okay, great. So if people have not seen if 10 people have not taken action, what the first things that I like to do is actually go through the numbers, right? How many people if I'm looking at this area, it's because I've got a screen here. If I'm looking here, it's because I have also a camera and a screen here. So don't get confused on the back and forth. So if you have at least 10 people that have not moved forward, one of the first things that I would do is actually pull the list of all of the people whether it's 350 or 400 or 500 or 600 people who have seen the presentation and actually get maybe even build a chart, or maybe just go one by one just to get a feel for it, and then you can build a some sort of pie chart or a better visualization of the data. And the questions are, and you should write this down. So the questions are, if what was the average time someone saw the presentation? So then you can actually figure out, well, is someone leaving, or most people leaving at a, a specific point where I talk about X, Y, or Z and they're leaving? So what's the average time people watch? If people who are actually taking action, how far along are those people engaged for, and what other things have they engaged with? Emails, videos, YouTube channel, are they subscribers? Like what's that, right? And what was their engagement with you before they got to that point? So I think what a lot of people in the video webinar space, online marketers, a lot of what they do is they will have like this super hot audience, or they'll have like a major influencer that everyone knows and brag about their results. But the thing is that usually, most of the time when people are doing those type of events, they're actually very familiar with who they are already, right? So it's not like the online marketer, the online marketing machine has been doing all. It serves a purpose, right? But it's not what's doing the majority of the work to convert that. So a lot of people in the online world kind of confuse that. So if you so with the average, so going back to figuring out if people are not taking action from the presentation, assuming 400 people or more have watched, um so what kind of happens from there. And so the next iteration is to say, once you figure out the common denominator of when people are actually dropping off, write that down, and then go through and actually look at their comments, questions and comments for the people who are engaged or on the actual video conference, right? So if you're able to get the average time, the number of like comments, and actually able to break down the comments. And then if they clicked on a call to action, right, then you can actually see maybe all these people that were really engaged did click on a call to action, but they clicked maybe the buy button, but they never actually put in their credit card to leave. And so once you kind of figure that process out, that will give you a very clear indicator of, okay, now the next step for me is to either fix the presentation, it's to fix the way I'm messaging people after the event is over, or if I'm or message them at all if people aren't even messaging them, so they can take action, right? And then from there, what other ways are we engaging with them after the event is over, right? So if you're just sending one or two emails or whatever it might be, that means like you're not running ads, you're not sending text messages, you're maybe not sending emails, you are not calling them, right? Because usually when people are um, opting in or joining a webinar, we always collect their phone numbers so we can be sure we can call those people. And it's worth us to call those people because we're offering something that's usually over $1,000 when you're doing these type of events, right? So now that's kind of that's the next iteration of what I would do from there. Now, when you're actually thinking like tactically of like how do I actually wrap my head around taking action on step X, Y, or Z, or how do I figure out what that next path is? What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you a walkthrough of just two technologies, right? Just two very simple technologies that will give you that data for you to tell you what to do next, and actually show you exactly how people are engaging with your system, with your events, with your web pages, all of that, right? You can actually get screen recordings of how people are engaging. I'm going to show you that in a second, which is pretty cool, and that will show you what to do. So let me go through and share my screen. let's do that one more time here. So let me go through and do a screen recording. I think I can do this all right here. Yeah, I can. Cool. So we're going to do another screen recording right there. Boom. Golden. Okay. So let me move this. A little confusing. So again, as we're covering on here, we've got this chart that we're kind of following. So we are at this path right now, and we are going to actually show the process of what happens when people are not taking action right there. So let's sharing two different screens at the same time, but I think we're going to manage. Cool. Okay. So what I like to do here is so the first thing is that you've got your data of so let's say you're hosting an event, right? And you've got your different pages, right? So you've got multiple different events, whether you've got, live or your pre-recorded events or whatever it might be. Okay. So then from there, based on the registrant information, you're able to actually, let's say you want to go into the attendee section, then you can actually see, okay, how long are they watching for? Are these people clicking on a call to action? Are they finishing the event? Right. So you can download that, right? So you can export that information and then make different charts kind of around that data. And so if you have different pages for different events, this is a very cool program. It's called Clarity. It's called Microsoft Clarity. It's totally free. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of pull this up for one of our pages. I got a bunch of different projects and stuff, but this is for, let's say, just like today, right? So what this does actually is this will show you all you take tracking pixels, you put those pixels into different pages, landing pages, checkout pages, registration pages, so you can see step by step how are people actually engaging with your. This is obviously a project that's not functioning right now, right? So here's kind of like a walkthrough of here. This is like a random one, I think. Yeah, there's not that many sessions. Let me just go on the last day, go to projects. This is for like a page, I think, that we're doing some test traffic on. Yeah. Okay. So doing some test traffic. And so in the last, let's call it like today, now I apply these pixels, and now this will actually tell me how many people have gone on our pages and had dead clicks, right? What are our most popular pages? We can actually see recordings of how each individual person engaged with those pages. Where are people actually, like, these are heat maps, right? So we can see what devices are they on, how many where are people actually clicking, where are people dropping off, so we can see the click ratio, the scroll ratio. So we're seeing, like, this is kind of a heat map of, this is where 100% of users are going here, people are dropping off right here, right? So then we're getting a lot of good data on this, right? This is just for like the last, I think, 24 hours, right? Yeah, for today only. So now imagine you're putting all of your sign up pages, all of your pages, everything that you're doing through this exact process, where now you can actually understand that data. Okay. So no, that's on the page level. If you're talking about the event level, right, when you're actually hosting events and you want to see how many minutes people are watching, what's the engagement there. So now what you're able to do is get a clear indication on when's the most popular time to promote your events, right? So this is a heat map of your registration page. And then when's the best time to actually host your event. So when is the most people showing up? And then this will actually give you a clear indication of the best times not to host events, or when people are dropping off and things like that, right? So now you have these two really important data points, and obviously it can be broken down over 60 days, 7 days, 15 days, whatever that might be. You've got a free solution, right, where you're able to see a number of clicks. You're able to see recordings of how people are engaging with your pages, right? So if I click on recording here, and let's say, here's 45 clicks, this person spent 22 minutes on this page, right? So now if I want to go through here and actually see the recording, right? So if I went on 8x and I just played it, I can actually see where they're clicking, they're going through this process. This person, it looks like they signed up for one of like the paid programs on here, and now I'm able to actually see their experience, their user experience, where they came from, what they did, it looks like they're from the Dominican Republic. They were on a PC, they were on Windows, they clicked on this page 45 times, and they were on 11 different pages before they actually purchased, right? So now I can actually get a clear indicator of how that person is interacting with our pages, with our site, what we can improve to reduce the number of dead clicks. I can go through this person's customer experience and actually see, is this person confused here? Are they confused here? Do I need to add content to say, welcome to page X? We're going to teach you about X, Y, and Z, and this is the goal, right? So now this data and everything, and you're seeing how people engage with it, that tells you what to do on your other pages, on your events, and that will give you much more clarity around that, right? So again, back to the question, have more than 10 people purchase or schedule a call. Now what you're able to do is go back and see, right? Now you can actually see the data around registration, around attendance, get the attendee analytics, see where people, what pages are working, what's not working on the clarity side, right? So whether you got business hangouts or jet, it's exact same experience, right? And so now from there, you're able to have a lot more clarity on what that next step is, right? And so I hope that helped a lot with what you're trying to do, with what you're trying to accomplish when it comes to, and this is for again any marketing principle, right? So if you're doing just ads to have people buy products, whether it's e-com or having someone register for one of your events, it's really the same process where you need to track step by step where they're doing, where they're dropping off, where people are moving forward, and then you can make a move from there, right? So again, I hope this was valuable content as far as really understanding how to integrate the right strategy, the right mindset, the right technology into everything that you're doing. So then the next time someone comes and engages with one of your pages or your events, you have so much more clarity around the idea of someone's coming from whatever, a blog or a Google search, LinkedIn, on Facebook, or they found you through a group, whatever it might be, right? One of the most underrated assets I've seen actually is Facebook profile pages. They use that as just a business page. Fascinating. So when you do that, right, that will just model and give you the blueprint for what you need to get them all the way to the sale, right? And so what I'm showing you here is really no different than what I'm going to be showing you on how to 10x your conversions. The whole thing is just know where people are looking, where they're dropping off. And I call this the leaky boat, right? If you have holes in your boat, which is your business, and people are falling through, this is the technology that catches all of that, right? Or shows you where they're going. They might not catch it, but they'll show you where it's going. So then you can integrate the right technology and the right strategy so it does catch it. And then you can go and be in front of those people again and actually hit on a pain point that gets them excited to move forward and do business with you. So I hope that gives you, again, a much clearer vision on what this really looks like as far as taking, whether it's a online business, whether you're trying to sell more products or sell more of your services, if you're trying to get more people on your presentations, this is the model that you need to really use to understand how people are engaging, where they're dropping off, how you can recapture them, re-engage them, and offer them your services, your products, whatever it might be, to get those people to move forward. So if you have questions, I'll stick around for a couple minutes to kind of answer those. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, but Again, I'll put this on the slideshow real quick just so you can kind of see the process of, like I said, have 400 people seen the presentation, or at least, and again, this is not just for online events. This is for any sales page, a marketing page. If 400 people have seen a page, right, or they've seen your offer, whether it's on from coming from a blog or from paid advertisements or whatever it might be, and they have and 10 people haven't taken action, it's going to be the exact same model to follow right here, right? And so then when people say no, right, this is the next step. And so this is going to give you everything that you need to get the clear vision of where people are clicking, what pages they're seeing, and then this will show you again what are the best times to actually be in front of these people, so you can market at all these different times and you can test, and then once you figure out what works, you double down, you triple down, you quadruple down on that whole process, right? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. So again, I will stick around for a little bit longer, but again, if you have any questions, let me know. More than happy to help. I appreciate everyone who's watching from now, the future viewers, and always happy to engage, get additional support, help in any way that I can here. I think we are done with here. We're gonna finish this screen recording, so that's good there. Looks like few people, but no, we are good here. So again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I guess I can share a quick story before I go, and I want to share a quick story about what's behind here. So for this was actually a real picture that I took, for the record, and this is a really cool studio where they have for one of our it was for one of our business partners. They were actually recording a course, and so this course, they wanted to have an interactive course where you can put a bunch of people on the wall, right, and you can actually talk with them, right, and so you can make them bigger, you can have individual faces. And so what we were doing is we were recording a live event where people were on the wall, and then that recording of that live event we are editing and we're going to be reselling it. And a lot of it was around personal development, professional growth, and things like that. I don't know how happy he would be with me putting his name on here, but if I can, maybe that'll be a cool story for another time. So what they did was, this was a 3-day recording, and this was it's called the 9-step success process. And so every day we would actually record the full 9-step success process, which is like an 8 to 10 hour recording. So we had about like 25 to 30 hours of recording over those. It was like 2 or 3, I think it was like those 3 days. And it was just, you're in the middle of a stage, you're surrounded by screens. So this was just actually like almost a quarter of it, maybe a little bit more than a quarter, because the screens would actually go in a full 300, it would be in a 360-degree angle. So it's all around you. And so we would have cameras. We had cameras like right here. You see this guy right here. There's a camera. I think right behind me. There's another camera right here with this guy. There was a camera above us, and then there was 2 cameras on the, I guess, on that side, on the other side. And so we would have all these different angles. You're walking on this big stage. No one's in the room, right? So it's kind of awkward, but you're being watched by hundreds of people, or almost thousands of people, because they're all just kind of staring at you, right? And so the stakes are just as high, because whether you're selling a product or a service or whatever it might be, it's awkward because all these people are watching you, but you don't feel the energy of the room. And so they created this like immersive experience where people are cheering, and you walk on stage, and they're cheering you on, and that actually did almost replace that experience, where it made it very immersive. And so now we're able to really revolutionize the future of the online course side of it, where this is a great introductory course because it's interactive and people from all over the world are engaging, and then they're so excited about it that we can take that and repurpose it and resell it to a lot of people. And this is just a much bigger scale of normally what we help people do. And one of those things is just do a live training, right? Get people to do, whether you're doing it for free or you're getting people to pay you, where you do a live training like I'm doing right now on camera with a microphone, right? It's you're not talking about a super expensive setup because you just have a microphone and a computer. Most computers have microphones, and you record that, whether it's a 2 or 3 day training or a few hour training. And once you record that, now that's an asset that you can actually market for life, right? And so people will actually have like transcription services where as you're speaking it's transcribing everything into written content, and they're making that into different blogs, and they're creating all these videos around the course, and they're creating shorter form videos and promoting that to promote the event. And it's super cool about, this is really the hype that you're able to do with really just doing a couple day events, and getting people to attend. And so this was really that on a much bigger level, with people kind of coming in through this immersive screen experience and things like that. So definitely food for thought. Helps you think a lot bigger, for sure, right? And then that actually helps evolve into a lot of other areas in the business where people get so excited and they see that you're doing this, and then they want to work with you. They'll pay you higher ticket to work one-on-one with you, or do a group setting, or a lot of people get excited to meet you in person and things like that when you're building that kind of momentum and hype around it. So love sharing cool stories like that. And again, if there's any questions or anything like that, more than happy to help on that side. So yeah, I see a question here. So yeah, this actually this recording did happen in Vegas. Yes, so this was, a studio that was that did go down in Vegas, which was pretty cool on that side. So yes, it was. Yeah, it was a cool. It was a very cool experience. So, but yeah. So again, thanks so much. I'm gonna be doing more live events. I'm trying to do some more of these trainings, break it down into shorter form videos. Been doing this for almost 30 minutes. So love to. Going to be really cool to see what we can do with the team, around just actually leveraging this into other shorter form videos, TikTok. So I'll be talking more through about that journey as well. And hopefully you can use some of those strategies as well, to help grow your business. And I've been hearing a bunch of crazy stories around just like, I heard of a construction company who got a $50,000 contract from TikTok. So that it's just kind of like a crazy world that we're kind of living in, and I want to document that process around, again, creating long form videos, breaking it down, whether it's into 5 second, 30 second, 15 second segments, all the way to like 10-minute segments, and everything in between, repurposing that on different platforms, and again leveraging that into more content, more blogs and memes and all that good stuff. So yeah, that is it for the night. It's almost 9:45, so at night here. And yeah, I appreciate everyone's support, and I look forward to doing more of these. I will chat with you guys soon. Have a great one.